glass. Yeah.
Hello. Hello, folks. I am Louisiana Beer Reviews from Louisiana, and I am eating today with Stuart Pickard of Gin Riel
Yorkshire. Yeah.
From Yorkshire, England, the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and Northern Ireland. Okay, I'm in the United States of America. Okay, we are looking at Guinness Draught, introduced in 1958. 4.1% alcohol. I want to show a few things before we start, though. I was on a little trip. You were probably wondering why I had not contacted you, Stuart, but I was driving around 20 miles, driving around, buying beer, and one thing I bought was this 32-ounce jug of Carta Blanca. Have you had it?
No.
From Mexico.
Have you had it before?
I bought this in Kenner. It's from Mexico.
Yeah.
It's 1 quart. I don't know how much that is. I guess that would be about 710. Yeah, 710 milliliters. Also, I bought this a while back, but this will age well. Check it out, folks. All right.
Yeah.
I'll go put these back.
Okay. First day.
Here I am. Here I am. All right. Look at my beautiful beer bottle collection. All right. Anyway, Carta Blanca means sort of like, if you translate it from French or Spanish, it means sort of like sparing no expense. Blank check.
Yes.
Okay. Now Guinness, named after Arthur Guinness. I have the bottle, introduced in 2011, and they actually recommend that this pasteurized beer be drank straight from the bottle. I went to a bar last night, and no one in the bar drank beer out of a glass. They all were drinking it out of the bottle. And so I asked the woman, could I have a glass? And she said, oh, we might have 2 glasses. So they had Guinness in these bottles because just no one there drinks out of the glass.
Now, is that the new stylish bottle, the aluminium one, or is it the...
Whew, listen to that hiss. No, this is glass. It's a brown glass bottle. It made quite a hiss, I must admit. Now, I don't understand.
As did mine.
Oh, yeah, you have the 14.9-ounce can.
Yeah, I've not seen the Guinness in bottle.
No, it's kind of a new thing. Now, I don't get the nitrous head, but I did get a nice beige head and a dark brown appearance, though, I have to say, in the glass that my daughter bought me in Dublin.
Nice. So your daughter managed to actually visit the museum of Guinness.
Mm-hmm. She went on the brewery tour. She loved it. She was remarking how the Guinness was better. It tasted better there. But you see, it's probably not pasteurized when they're serving it at the brewery. But if they don't pasteurize it and they ship it to America, it's going to spoil. So they have to do that, and that does affect the flavor, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's me bottle opener that I picked up when I was in Ireland. I call it Kevin Black after the beer reviewer. But your daughter is right. When I had it in Ireland, Guinness, it just took so long to pour, as well as it tasted different.
Yeah. Now Now I have these potato chips that are, I don't know if they serve these in Yorkshire. It's potatoes, but it's kettle fried in a kettle.
Yeah. We do kettle chips here in Yorkshire.
Okay. Now, most viewers probably know that Guinness comes in a variety of alcohol levels. And the draft is 4.1%, but you can get Guinness up into the 7.5% alcohol.
I think there's also an 8.3% one.
Say that again, 3%.
I think there's an 8.3.
Oh, 8.3, wow.
Yeah. There's also the mid-strength. There's also a diet version, I think. Because when I went to Ireland, I was surprised that there were so many varieties of Guinness. But you have to please all the markets. The people that can only have a light beer during the lunch hour.
No, there's no Guinness Light over here. There is... there's Red Stripe Light, and Red Stripe is owned by the same people that own Guinness, Diageo.
Yeah.
So I guess that's as close as we get.
Now, have you always been a fan of Guinness?
Yes. I think Guinness, especially the extra stout, if not to mention the foreign extra stout, I think Guinness can go toe-to-toe with most craft beers, frankly. Some people might be upset by me saying that, but I think it is true. It's so carefully made. There's a good video that the National Geographic Society did. It was about an hour-long show about Guinness. And it's fascinating because they are so meticulous with their barley, their hops.
Yeah.
And the range is about this, is how much it can vary in quality. They don't tolerate much variation. And they have these certain farmers in Great Britain who only farm for Guinness. And they're very careful not to lose that contract, so they do the best work to maintain that captive clientele.
Now, when I first had Guinness, I was in a rock club here in my hometown. And back then, I was only drinking lager.
Yeah.
So I got into lagers. And I have to say, I wasn't a fan of it originally.
Yeah, I was about to did you always like it?
It was quite a taste in a day. But I've grown to appreciate the different variations of Guinness. They've just released 2 old recipes from the olden days. I don't know if you've got them yet, the porters.
No, very expensive.
There's the West Indies porter, and I can't remember the other one, but and basically they use different recipes from the different stouts and porters that in the olden days. I mean, Guinness was one of the first dark beers out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, and if you read their history, originally it was classified as a porter.
Yeah.
And it's really considered a porter more than a stout, especially this 4.1%. A stout is a porter. A lot of people don't know that, but a stout is a type of porter. It's a stout porter. A more full-bodied, heavier porter. And what is a porter? A dark ale that the guys at the shipyards used to drink. The porter when they were working, hauling things off of the boat. You know, the ships on the Thames River, or on the river, you know, the port in Dublin or Belfast, and so they wanted something that would give them some energy, whatnot. Now this beer has a creaminess, I noticed, even without the nitrogen.
I'm sure your daughter will also say that the Guinness body in Ireland is a little more denser and a bit more fuller in the body. But the pasteurised version is a little bit thinner, and that's, like you say, to help with the transportation across the world. I mean, you're drinking it in America, I'm drinking it here in the UK. And I think did your daughter say it tasted different as well?
She found that it had a nicer flavor in Dublin. Yeah. She thought it was a nicer flavor, but that is not unusual. Like I've told you, I've been to brewery tours at Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis, Miller Brewery. Oh, well, in Milwaukee, and the beers there, even a Budweiser, when you get it fresh off the tap, it's so fabulous compared to what you get out of a bottle or a can. Well, it looks like we have a guest.
How are we doing?
This is my brother Andrew.
Hey, hey.
Oh, well, hello there.
We're doing a live beer review of Guinness Draught.
Yeah, I got from my family.
Jolly good.
We're doing a live beer review of Guinness Draught. I mean, when did you first try it, Andrew?
I've only had it on the bottle and off the tap, really. I don't think I've tried it, actually. If I've tried it off the can, I can't remember, because it would have been at someone's party.
Now, that widget ball was invented in 1992, and I believe Boddington's was the first beer to do it. I have never had. I've never had.
We had an Irish crest out yesterday.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry, I was interrupted. We were talking at the same time. Say that again.
We had that yesterday, and that like the taste of Ireland.
Ah, craft stout, brew dub.
Dub means dark, black. Brew is the brewery.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Don't you find, now getting back to Guinness, I've had it on can, draft can, bottle, but never on the tap. I've never had the tap. But don't you find it has a powderiness to it?
It does.
Yeah. You're probably right there.
It's chocolatey, it's coffee-like, it's heavily roasted, it's sweet, it's creamy. Yeah, I just enjoying it.
The Murphy's Stout the other week. I mean, I was in comparison for you. I do prefer Murphy's over Guinness.
Maybe Murphy's is a bit better because it's a little bit sweeter. But, of course, people that don't like sweetness as much may prefer the Guinness, which is a little more bitter.
Yeah.
But I would have to say that it's a very close race.
Yes, I mean, I know Guinness came out first, didn't it? And Murphy's came in.
Guinness came out in 1759, and Murphy's came out in 1856.
Now, we mentioned all the different variations of Guinness. Andrew, at one point, liked collecting all the different imported variations. I mean, you purchased one this past week.
There's a new one on the market in like a big box or something. I've seen it on, I don't know, on BDU. Someone posted a big Guinness.
That's what Stuart was talking about right when you walked in. He was talking about the new specialty.
So there's one that you can now age.
9% in it.
Oh, I don't know. But let me say this to you. Apparently, Guinness is selling a winter variety pack in the United States. I have not seen it yet, but I'm going to look for it. And they have Kilkenny, which I've never seen in America before. Of course, the Guinness Draught that Stuart's drinking right now in the can. They have one called Guinness Winter Stout.
Yeah.
And one called, I don't know, some kind of holiday stout or something. I was fascinated. I couldn't believe it. Well, as soon as I see it, I'm going to buy it. I don't care. I'm buying it.
Well, I'm more interested in that one that they've managed to put in a big box or something. I was like, because They said it's 9%, and I thought, whoa, that sounds good. That.
Yeah, they brewed a special beer.
But Andrew, somebody told me it was $30 a bottle.
Yes, that's how much it costs.
I'll
But
just.
you get a nice presentation box. Now, what of the Guinness that you've seen in Amsterdam, the African one?
Foreign X.
Yeah.
Foreign.
Whereas that's got more of a kick to it, hasn't it?
The only Guinness beers we get in America are the following: this Guinness Draught in a glass bottle.
Yeah.
We get the Guinness Draught in the can, which is the same recipe. We get Guinness Extra Stout in various bottle sizes, including big, huge bottles. That's 6% alcohol. And then we get the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout in the little bottle I showed you, 7.5%. So our range goes from 4.1 to 7.5. We don't get the big 8.
The 6% one, I don't think I've tried that one.
Oh, the Extra Stout?
Yeah. But I've tried an 8% Guinness. I don't know if it's the same.
The Extra Stout is very common in America. You can find it in any gas station, or I guess you say petrol station, every grocery store. Well, pretty much any place that sells beer is going to sell Guinness Extra Stout. Most places will sell the draft cans, and a few places will sell these glass bottles. But they're not as common. But they're not what you would call rare. Now, I started drinking Guinness in 1996. As Stuart knows, and you might know, but as Stuart knows, that was the beginning of my little beer journey, you know.
Oh, right. Yeah, cool.
I never drank beer before.
So it's the honour of Guinness that made you what you are?
Well, no. It was just part of the journey.
Yeah.
The actual first beer I actually drank.
You got your kick-started, in the words.
The first one I
kick-started you to try more beer.
The first beer I tried in '96 was actually Miller High Life, but and it was never a case of, you know, I think Stuart and I talked about this before. You know how some people say, well, I used to drink lagers and then I realized the craft beer.
That's what I mean. Beer that sort of kick-started you.
But it was never the case for me, though, Andrew. When I started drinking beer in February '96, I was interchangeably, from day one, drinking macro lagers and exotic craft beer. I was just going back.
To remember what beers came from.
I think ours were Black Sheep. We tried the Black Sheep, and it was really dark at the time. Now, if you get it now, it's all different colours now. It's dark or light. I mean, it used to be really dark, remember? And now, the normal, traditional Black Sheep, you don't get it dark now. It's sort of lightish, sort of like a pale ale.
Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Now, it's a brewery in North Yorkshire.
Well, I finished bragging on Guinness. I was telling you, I think it's great. I could drink this beer and I would not get tired of it. Now, what is your opinion of it? I know you're not as enthusiastic about it.
I do like it. I do think the one in Ireland's a whole lot better because it has a lot more body to it. It's okay. It's a lot better than when I first sampled Guinness back in the early days at rock clubs.
Well, they used to be really then, didn't they?
But I still like to revisit beers that I started out with, like Wells, what's that other brewery called? Trepanine, Carling, and those kind of breweries. I still revisit them, even though now we drink beers like Imperial IPAs, Imperial Stouts,
fine wines.
I mean, yesterday we've been sampling sour beers and Berliner Weisses, different variations, and it's nice to see escalations of different kinds of beers. But I still appreciate lagers.
There was a thing on that BDU as well about too many IPAs out on the market now. But the thing is, how many different IPAs. That's the thing, is how many different IPAs there is. You know what I mean? It's like red IPA, black IPA.
Well, they say this on the channel all the time. A lot of the times, people say, "Oh, I shouldn't be drinking that. It's a major company." But that major company supports a lot of people's jobs, and it also, what they don't know is by them, little breweries
That start
up as well.
Right. I don't understand. Well, we've talked about this so many times, but I don't understand this hatred toward the big companies. I don't see where they're hurting anybody. I'm not part of this conspiracy theory, but I know a lot of people are. I just drink it because it's on the store shelf.
Yeah, but I mean like that one in that Canadian one where John Claude Van Damme does a TV show on it.
It means cause.
Cause, that's it. They did a documentary on the Cause where this guy, was the boss, and then he went to, like, where he's an undercover boss or something, is it?
Yeah.
And he was visiting the parts of the brewery, and they were actually bottling for other breweries and stuff.
They do.
You know what I mean? So
a lot of the big breweries are hired out to bottle the smaller brewers because they can't afford bottling plants.
Right.
So they have to take their beers
That's the ironic
to
part.
bigger breweries. Local breweries to us, Saltaire. I think their Saltaire Blonde, which is their main beer, gets bottled in Burton-on-Trent.
or the what do you call it?
Marston's.
See, they bottle a lot for other breweries.
And I bet it's the same for Guinness. I bet because they own a bottling plant, they can bottle a lot of the craft beers that we see in the shops.
Yeah,
And as we've said before, a lot of times these craft beer drinkers only drink the one beer the once.
and never again. And think about Molson Coors. If it wasn't for Coors coming into Great Britain, there would be no longer would we have Worthington's Red Shield or Worthington's White Shield, because they bought that because it had gone out of business and they resurrected it.
Yes,
There you go. Brewery. So if they were trying to destroy little breweries, why would they even bother bringing back Worthington's White Shield?
And it's also that
Bass as well.
what's it called? That where they say craft breweries outselling big companies now. Yeah, Budweiser. That's a function of every craft beer brewery out there against one beer. But what they don't realise, like Goose Island, Bourbon County, they all go after that, but that's InBev.
It's owned by Anheuser-Busch. Yeah, that was the big news story. They said now the war is won. Not that it should be a war, but they said craft beer has won the war because now, finally, every craft beer produced in America has surpassed Budweiser. One brand. I said, wow, how about that? Now, so then if you throw in one other beer like Bud Light, it's a gap that's you could never jump across. It's like a chasm. But anyway, I think Andrew is a lot like you and I, Stuart. We just like the beers. We're enthusiastic about it. We're not part of the very negative approach that many people take.
We drink a lot of craft beer, and the majority of the time, we'll just tell you straight how it is. If it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a few craft beers last night, and one that was a collaboration between 3 different breweries. It was just a total mess. Whereas this, you could drink this as many times as you want, and it'll taste exactly the same.
Rule of thirds.
Oh, I drank it. I felt so bad because this man sent me a beer from Japan. He spent a lot of money to mail me this beer. He's a fan. He's not expecting anything in return, but he sent this beer to me from a little company in Japan called Koido. It's a very expensive craft beer.
Yeah.
I had to give it a B, but I was forcing myself to give it. You know what I mean? It didn't really deserve a good rating. It was hard to drink. It was so inferior to this. It was laughable. But I felt bad because he tried. He wanted me to try something new, and I was very glad to try. It was so disappointing to drink that beer that tasted like mud.
But yeah. Any final thoughts? I mean, the fact that this is the thing about the big breweries. You could go back to that beer no matter how many times, and they'll have the same opinion as before, the same chocolatiness, the same roasting, the same creaminess. Now you can go to have a stout from a craft brewery, and it'd be different every single time.
Every time, yeah, it's really strange. Yeah, my final thoughts echo your final thoughts. If a person is looking for a high quality, reliable, not particularly expensive stout, Guinness is one to reach for.
Especially at the sessionable as well. It's 4.1%. I know a lot of friends do drink a lot of this. And there is a myth about if you drink too much tomorrow, you'll be...
Well, like on that video with Eddie Topper or something, it says after 6 months it loses its thing as well.
Yeah.
The quality of it still tastes the same, but it looks different, or it goes darker or something, or because it's supposed to be like a light colour to start off with when it's fresh. When it's 6 months on, it actually shows you in the video difference from 6 months on. Whereas the Guinness, so like you get that, you keep that for 6 months. It was just the same as when you bought it.
Right. Yeah. Let me ask you this question before we get off the air. Does the Guinness can you have list the ingredients? Because in America they don't list the ingredients on beer. Beer is not considered a food for some reason.
No.
Anyways, these companies, they've managed to know how to keep it.
No, it doesn't say.
Okay. As it is, as it should be when it first comes out the first time.
It doesn't mention the ingredients. It just says contains barley.
Okay. Andrew, let me ask you this and then we'll shut the video off. Andrew, what is your opinion of Guinness?
This one here? Or?
Yeah.
It's like layer of like that chocolate you were saying. It's like a thin chocolate.
Yeah.
And you get that creaminess afterwards. But it's not overwhelming. It's just pleasant. You know what I mean? It's a nice, easy, pleasant beer to sit there in a pub, relax, and not worry about how many hops has gone in there or how many malts has gone in there. It's just like I say, same old. It's just a nice, pleasant beer which you can go to. It's a go-to beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One that you can rely on.
Excellent.
Anyway.
Okay, well, thank you folks for watching this video production, and y'all come on down to Louisiana and to Yorkshire, England.
Yorkshire.
You take. In America, they would call it Yorkshire.